Hey, I can tell you guys how many times I have gone and sat at multi-level marketing meetings. Um, Starting way back in the 1970s, the very first one I ever went to was a Shackley. Some of you older folks will remember Shackley. I went to that one. Then that was followed by Amsoil, which was synthetic oil, which I still use to this very day in my vehicle. My car out there, the new car we have, I've got Amsoil all set to go into it. So I learned about multi-level marketing a long time ago. I've never really done anything with it. And those of you who introduced me to that over the years, you know that. So anyway, if you read the thing that I posted on Facebook today, I'm kind of changing my views on this. I've been looking at this whole thing for 4 months now, buying various essential oils, the HempWorks oil, two different brands here. I've got a bunch of it sitting here that I'm selling if anybody's interested in it. I'd like to unload this stuff. But I've been doing this multi-level marketing networking thing. I've been actually really looking at it. And the one thing I had to ask myself 4 months ago, October, was what do I really know about this? I've never really understood binary legs, all of this stuff. I've never really understood why are their prices marked up. What is the deal? So I started looking. So probably 2.5 months ago, I started really researching multi-level marketing and network marketing. I started learning about various companies that have been around for years and years and years. I had no idea Avon was around since 1886. I started looking at different products other than the pharmaceuticals that we're all familiar with. My wife and I are getting older. We gotta start figuring some of this stuff out. And so I'm always looking for natural things as opposed to just take two of these and calm in the morning. But I started looking at how the marketing of these various products, just how successful is it? I was stunned to find out that this is a $13 trillion enterprise globally, maybe more than that, actually. I was shocked to see that these are billion-dollar companies. And I wanted to understand how do these companies generate that kind of income, that kind of wealth? So I started looking. I started tearing down Amway. I started looking at Avon. I started looking at Herbalife. I started looking at their track record and some of the lawsuits and things of this nature for some of the pyramid type ones. But for the most part, this is an extremely successful industry. And the more that I started looking at all of this stuff, the one thing that all of these companies have in common, it's not the products, it's people. Duplication with the same goal in mind. Not to become rich and wealthy, but it's a whole different way of thinking about earning a living. It's like in the corporate structure, you have the CEO, okay? And the CEO, now this is what I've kind of figured out. This is just my own interpretation. The CEO, and then you go down the corporate ladder until you get to the workers, okay? Well, in multi-level marketing, the exact opposite is true. You flip the pyramid upside down, okay? So now here's you, and your organization is built above you. In other words, you're only as successful as the people above you. In other words, you're only as successful as the people below you. It's the same thing, just flipped. And what I really like about it, and I never really thought about it this way, is it's not the products necessarily that you have to go sell. It's not even the business that you have to go sell. It's the opportunity. And you have to kind of see what a person needs. For me and my wife, Michelle, it was, well, we don't have much retirement. I don't know how I'm going to live on $695 worth of Social Security. That's what I've earned because I've been a self-employed business owner for a lot of the years of my adult life. And the 401k that we're starting out with Michelle, it's kind of just getting started, 7 years into it. So we don't really have a retirement. Then I started looking at our home. We live in an apartment. I can't afford to move forward. I'd like to have another home, and I'd like it not to be where I don't want to live. Well, creating a home-based business, I can do this anywhere in the country. So that was another benefit. The residual income, that's my retirement. And the key to all of it was encouraging people to build a business to do the same thing. $13 trillion. Well, if they can do this, I can do this. So I did the Google search this is a scam. Why you don't want, I looked at all of them over the years. In fact, a lot of that stigma was the reason I never really learned this industry. And I just decided I was going to ignore the stigma and find out for myself and do my own research. And it's hard work. I mean, it's just like anything else. But the more you do this and duplicate and self-duplicate, the more you're able to do more in the lives of people. To me, that's the winner. So I'm looking at it with a different perspective. And I've tried a few companies. Trust me, my wife is going, how much money are you going to spend this time? But I'm looking at it in terms of not only spending money and that didn't work, this didn't work, that didn't work, but learning and seeing how viable this is. And the more that I've adjusted my thinking about it, and the more people I'm talking to who are successful in this industry, the more I realize that they're working on a different whole level. Their concept of everything is a different whole approach to making an income. And so I'm seeing it from that perspective and going, these people are making good money. They're also connecting with people all over the world, and they're successful people. And the products are good products. Not all companies succeed. There's a litany of businesses out there that didn't make it. The ones that did succeed, and I've got a list of up to 100 of them, they all have the same core value, and that is people. Well, that's exciting. So I'm going to be looking at that. I'm changing my Facebook page around. I'll probably put my ministry stuff on a different Facebook page, but for the most part, I'm going to be just focusing on just being Jeff online, and then I'll have my ministry page. We'll do the Returning to Eden Facebook page, but all of the stuff that I'm going to be learning and presenting to people as far as multi-level is concerned or network marketing, that's going to be on my MeWe page. MeWe. I don't know if MeWe is going to be successful, but I'm going to take advantage of it while it's here. Okay? That's the first part of what I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about is I've sat in services learning about the Bible now for 12 years. And now I'm ready to go out and do things. I'm ready to go out and fight. Literally, what I'm trying to say is I am ready to go out and fight the battle. I so appreciated my co-host, Dina Dye, who's getting involved in the political structure in New Mexico for the right reasons. We have to fight. We have to fight this attitude of death, this culture of death, which is permeating our societies right now, in particular with our children. So I'm gonna start looking into a lot of the conservative folks here in Washington State. I want to start rubbing shoulders with them and meeting some people and getting involved, because if we don't do something, they're just going to run us over, and our children are going to pay the price. Our children are paying the price, and so we have to be active. So I'm also looking at that. The network marketing gives me the flexibility to do a little bit more in that arena, as opposed to working a 9-to-5 or riding around in a service vehicle answering service calls. I just don't want to do any of that. I want to be engaged. So I'm looking at some, I'm in Washington State. I'm kind of stuck here for the moment, but that doesn't stop me from fighting the battle. in fighting the political structure here that is predominantly liberal Democrats. I mean, they run everything. And in my opinion, a lot of Republicans that I know of here are just weak. And they kind of toe the line. They're like the water boys, in my opinion, for the Democrat machine that runs the state of Washington. Well, maybe I can impact that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to look into it. Rico Cortez said to me yesterday, and I posted on Facebook, the thing that he liked about Donald Trump was that Donald Trump was removing the oppression. And that, to me, summed up the presidency of Donald Trump in that statement perfectly. He is like a biblical character that is trying to restore the dignity of the Torah, where Donald Trump is trying to restore the values of this nation, that this nation was fundamentally founded on Judeo-Christian beliefs. And I'm just in there. I'm in there, and I watched his entire presentation yesterday at CPAC, and I was riveted. And then Candace Owen came out and she spoke against this lunacy that Black folks have been following for 60 years. I've been fighting it for 40 years. And I'm just kind of energized. I'm energized to get out there and fight the battle. So I'm kind of looking at network marketing as a tool to help me do that. The third thing I want to talk about is we in this faith-based community, if just 30% of us would come together, would literally come together, we'd change the way the country's going. I mean, we'd absolutely change the way the country's going. If we had one focus, and for me, that one focus ought to be stop the killing of babies in the womb. That focus, you have to understand something. If they can kill the children in the womb, then death permeates our society. Because we are killing children in the womb, death permeates our society. We have to do something about this. You can't sit back and do nothing. You just can't sit back and do nothing. You cannot do nothing. Otherwise, in my opinion, you're just as guilty as that abortion doctor. Literally, you are. And if I was the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, I would hold people accountable for that. So I have to believe that the whole reason God did all of this is to bring forth life. And if we sit by and allow people, godless that they might be, to kill children in the womb, to kill children before they're born, to allow babies who are successfully born, having been tried to abort, die on a cold table in some dark room, that to me that goes so far beyond evil that I don't know. And for us to do nothing, is so, if I have a good friend, James, and his wife. They said, Jeff, we ought to form a class action lawsuit against paying taxes for abortion. Well, that's an interesting idea. I also think we should have a day of mourning much bigger than the one that we had in the state of Albany just last week. But every country or state in our nation, for the people who are against this infanticide and killing children in the womb, I think we should have a day of outrage and literally show it. I mean, just one day to bring the community that is against this outrageous killing of children in the womb. If we all came out as one body, one day, nationwide. That's an interesting idea. So I realized that sitting here talking to you folks on the computer and doing these videos doesn't accomplish that. So I have to go accomplish that. So I'm going to start rubbing shoulders with some folks in the state of Washington who might be able to help get something like that started. In other words, if you do absolutely nothing, folks, absolutely nothing by you will get done. So I'm excited. I think this life is a privilege, a gift, and we need to fight for it. We need to fight for the next generation, folks, because they're perverting the next generation, and they're killing the next generation and perverting this one. So I hope you folks are paying attention to this, because those of you who profess to believe in the God of the Bible, for us to not be cohesive, one, on just one subject, is why we're getting our butts kicked in the culture war. This is Jeff Morton. Have a great day. Bye-bye.